Right, good evening, grade 10s. This is going to be kind of a shorter video. I'm not going to include everything, just the important parts, alright? Okay, so on your initial form, this is where you just say file new VCL forms and you save it the way I've been teaching you the whole year. Alright, when you add your additional forms, like I showed you in class, it's file new form. But the way you save this is a little bit different. You say file, save as, right, and then it's FRM, well, let's call this login, but just underscore P, alright? It's not going to pop up again, so that you don't have to do the underscore E underscore P, it's just underscore P. Alright, and then you need to link the forms that you're going to be traversing from one to the other, right? So I'm going to say file, I want to use this unit with my initial form, alright? So say OK, then I go back to my initial form and I want to use this one with the one that I just added. You can see the FRM login. So I click that, I say OK, there we go. Alright, so just imagine this is the sign up page. I'm not going to design it, we already did that. And I want to write the username and the password to my text file, but I don't have a text file. So I'm going to go manually create one. So I'm going to my notepad, say file, new tab, save this, Control S. Now, very important, you need to save it in the same folder as the project, the same folder, okay, you get what I'm saying. My English has just left me. Save it in the same folder as your Delphi program that you're currently working on. Let's call this add or secretary or people. Let's call it people. Right, save. Good. Now actually, if I go file, open, there's it, and I can just say open, and then I can see it here. So whatever changes you make to your text file, you can actually see it there. Alright, so this is my sign up page, and this is where you'd write the username and the password. So you'd have something like S-line is a combination of your username plus a hashtag plus your password. Alright, and then you'd have, before we do this, I almost forgot, we need to link your myFile variable, which is a text file variable. Alright, we need to link that variable to your text file. So sign file, myFile, comma, and then in quotes, alright, people.txt, close brackets, alright, and then append myFile. Right, you think append, think like add to, we are adding the username and the password to it. Alright, then I build my line, then I just need to write this line. Write line, myFile, comma, S line. So the way you read this is you are writing this S line, which is a combination of the username and the password, to your text file, to this text file. Alright. And then the last thing, nota bn, is to close your file. When you're finished eating, you don't close your well, you close your tab at the restaurant. Yeah, I can say that. Close file, my file. Jens was a lot better at coming up with anecdotes. Right, and then the last thing to do, I just need to navigate to this form that I created. So you can see it's called form 2. So I'm going to say form 2 dot show modal. We will get to the difference between dot show and dot show modal a bit later, but for now, dot show modal is good. I'm happy with that. Right, there's no point running this because I haven't declared these variables. In the test, you need to declare them, please. I'm just making this video short for you guys. Right, this will go to our login page, and here, same thing, we need to link our myFile text file variable to our text file, so assign file, myFile, comma, people.txt. Alright, but now it's not append, because we're not adding something into our text file, we're going to read from our text file. Where do you start reading a book? In the middle of the page? No, from the first line. So we move the pointer to the first line in our text file. So that's reset myFile. Alright, then we're going to loop through our text file using a while loop, while not end of file. Which file? myFile. You need to keep doing the following. Alright, what are we going to do? I'm going to declare one variable. Just waste a bit more time there. I'm going to read the first line that I'm currently looking at into a variable called sLine. So I say read the line, which initially it will be the first line. So read line from myFile into sLine. I'll say, for instance, I had Bob Nichols. Alright, in my first line there. So I'm going to save that. Bob Nichols would be in my sLine. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split my line into Bob and into Nichols, into a username and into a password. And then I'm going to compare it with whatever the user types into the username and password fields in this login form. And if there's a match, it means they're in our text file, and they can only be in our text file if they've signed up. So this person would be good to go, good to proceed. Alright, this is where Anu helped us with splitting the line. We need the position of the hashtag. So, in an integer variable called, let's just call it iHash, I'm going to get the position of what? Of the hashtag in sLine. Alright, then I'm going to have two additional variables. Let's just call this one users. I'm going to copy from the sLine. Alright, where do we need to start copying from? From the first index all the way to iHash, but you don't want to include iHash. So you can say iHash minus 1, so it's going to be from 1 to iHash, which is 4 minus 1, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so from 1 to iHash minus 1. And then I have another variable called maybe passes, and I'm going to copy from sLine starting at iHash plus 1 all the way to the length, all the way to the length of your line. So what does that mean? We start copying from iHash plus 1, so that's the index that n is currently at, and you just say length of line basically means just copy the rest. Alright, and that will do the job there. Lastly, I just need to compare these to what the user entered in those input fields. So I'm going to say if users, and obviously you'd have a different variable, right? It's equal to username and passes is equal to password. Now it's an and, so the two conditions in this if statement need to be surrounded with brackets. Please don't forget that. For the 16th time. I'm joking, I'm just joking. Right, let's have a begin. So, if we have a match, what should happen? Well, they can proceed to the next form. So let's say I've got a third form here. Whatever this is, maybe your home page, where the user can see what's up about your shop. I'm just going to save this. I'm going to say Control S. I'm going to say FRM shop _P. and I'm going to connect this one to my login page. I'm say file, use unit, login, and also it's a two-way relationship, guys. Just like life, you know, it's got to be both ways. Reciprocation. Right, indentation, neat code. So, if this is true, I want to navigate to, what form is this? Form 3. So I'm going to say form 3 dot show modal. Oh my word, son. Okay. Form 3 dot show modal. Yeah. Lastly, I'm just going to close file, my file. My file. Alright, cool beans. That's it. Please learn the code. 20 minutes tomorrow, so you must know it properly. Stefan, go remember this code. Remember it. You're going to pass this year, my man. Alright. Cheers, peoples. Don't go to sleep too late. Bye-bye.